All right. We got some people coming in here too. Let me get this. Backs off. All right, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Wow, I love seeing the people come in. Let me get my Facebook, my YouTube folks back over here. All right. Hi. All right. So, hey, I'm so glad that you joined me today. I'm going to be doing a little bit of this because there's two cameras and two different streams. Hello. And I can actually see the comments on TikTok. I apologize on Facebook and YouTube. I won't be able to see the comments. Oh, maybe I can, but I just won't be able to see them as readily as I can see the TikTok comments. So, yes, we made it. Here we are. Yes. So if anything dips out on TikTok, if the stream cuts out or anything, just go ahead and look me up on YouTube, and that is going to be a better stream, as my YouTube folks over here can attest to. Hey, from Hawaii. Alvin, my man. Great. All right. So, yes, thank you guys. So, we're going to start. Before we do the drawing, first I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you whether you were tagging creators, whether you were sharing, whether you were watching, whether you were listening, whether you were, whatever you were doing. I just want to say a big thank you to you personally. You're a big part of this. You know, I get some crazy ideas in my head every once in a while, and some of them work out, some of them don't. But one of those ideas was, you know, to create an instrument that people don't have to be intimidated by. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. The thing is, there's this, if you are already a musician, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're not a musician right now, there's this whole world waiting for you. There's this whole experience, part of the human experience waiting for you. And that's creating music, being a creator and using your breath to create music, you know, or whatever. In this case, using your breath. But I just encourage you, because so many people, myself included, when I think of playing an instrument, I think that that's something that you do as a young kid, and then you carry with it, or maybe you hate it or whatever, and a few lucky ones get out alive as adults who still enjoy the instrument that they play. Yes, exactly. It's never too late. And for me, you know, whether you saw that video before or not, I played guitar, so I was a musician. You know, in my college days, I played in a rock band. We toured around a lot. And then I kind of just set music aside completely. I stopped creating any type of music. And in my case, I love this guitar. Nice. Greetings from Hungary. Man, people from all over. Yeah, and so in my case, I had set it aside completely. My life started to get really stressed out, right? And things just started to seem really heavy. And life started to seem heavy. And for me, even though maybe I already have a little bit of glimpse of what it could be, ultimately I didn't have it in my life then, right? It was completely gone. And I was experiencing again what it's like to have that aspect of you gone, the creator aspect, creating music. And when I reconnected with it, I was, I was at a low point in my life, right? My business was super rough. I didn't like what I was doing. All of these things were going wrong, it seemed, all at the same time. And my buddy says, hey, I'm getting married. We're doing this trip out to the Boundary Waters, up in the Boundary Waters, in between the United States and Canada. So it's this beautiful, untouched land that you have to portage canoes in. So you have to basically canoe in and then pick your canoe up, put it over your head, and hike through that little island, get to the other side, put your canoe back in, just keep going, keep going. And so we were out in the middle of nowhere, and it was the first day that, it was the first day that they were giving permits to go out there camping, and so they were afraid that the ice was still going to be on the lake at that point. So it was just us. There was nobody but us, and we had this great talk and good just connecting with people that I'd known for a long time. But then the sun went down, the fire went on, and I'm lying there. And I had brought this old flute. It's actually out in the garage, but I just found it again. But I brought this old wooden flute, and this is less than 2 years ago, so this is not a long time ago. And I never played the flute, and I was like, oh, that wooden flute, like, what a perfect setting. I'm going to pull that thing out and play it. I don't really know how to play it, but I can go, like, doot, 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 right? Anybody can do that. And so I pulled it out and just kind of went. I was like, oh, that's kind of nice, you know? And then off in the distance, this loon, it froze for, uh-oh, hopefully it didn't freeze for everybody else. But this loon, which is a really beautiful bird with a really distinct call, calls back to me. Let's see. Did it stream? Okay. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'm going to see if I can icon on this or no. Okay, well, it looks like TikTok's frozen, so if that's the case, come on over to YouTube, and I'm just going to look at this camera instead of this one. But for real, I was out there, guys, this loon. If you know what a loon is, you know I won't try to do the loon call, but it's like, I guess I will. It's like, ow! Something like that. That's a really bad loon, but that's the general idea. And it calls back to me, and I'm like, and it goes, ooh. And for like the next couple hours, I'm just playing with this loon. And I can see the loon floating under the moonlight in just under the stars on the water. It was just incredible. And now when I even talk about it, it seems almost like kind of silly. Like, okay, you played a song with a bird, you know? Stuck on loading. All right, so you played a song with a bird, right? That seems like whatever. And it's one of those things that, to be honest, you're right. It is hard to put into words. It's hard to say it to you and then make it actually sound impactful. Because just like music, that experience was something that went beyond what I can just express to you in words. And that is the power of music. And if you don't have that in your life and you've ever had the thought, oh, well, you know, I don't know, maybe my kids can learn eventually, or maybe whatever, you know, I missed my little window of learning. I'm telling you, that was like less than 2 years ago. And that experience really ignited something in me. It ignited a passion in me. And yeah, YouTube, all right. It ignited this passion in me, wanting to learn. And so these are all flutes that I built, but, you know, I learned all these other flutes from around the world. And then the more I learned, the more I felt like I was connecting with my purpose, connecting with a deeper sense of self, creating, producing, you know. And the more I did that, the more I tuned in on what exactly I wanted a flute to sound like. I liked this aspect from this flute, and this aspect from this flute, and this aspect from this flute. But I had a certain idea of what I wanted it to sound like overall. And that's ultimately how we came here. You know, the actual flute itself, all the sound and all the whether it sounds one way or another way, it's all coming from this head joint. Let's see it here. Yeah. It's all coming from this head joint right here. And the geometry inside of there. And so tuning that in, like I have, here's just a sample of some of the designs along the way. But, you know, I ended up making over 150 different variations of these. And I'm using a 3D printer with a special polymer that I actually selected for the acoustic properties. And it's really interesting. I said it in the video, but it didn't even exist 2 years ago. So it's interesting. Like as I started to want to build something like this material came into existence. I was able to use it, and you know, things just kind of came together. So yeah, I'll answer some of those questions in a second. Yeah, so I'm just going to play a quick song for you so you can kind of hear how it sounds. I am going to have some reverb over it. The reason that I play with reverb is, for me, it's about pulling out, it's about eliciting emotion. And in the same way that if I were to sing, you know, if I were wanting to hear you sing in a concert or whatever, it's kind of funny, actually. I've been at a church where they'll put the dry feed, the dry audio feed, which means no reverb, from the vocals to the side monitors. And it's just like, it just loses a lot of the magic. You know, sometimes that reverb can help open up a sound. Just like if you look at flutes in particular through history, you see them played in caves. You know, you see them played in wide expanses so that they can get that really expansive sound. And there's something about that reverberation, right? Because it's kind of doing the same thing inside of our bodies, inside of our hearts, and it's that echoing, it's that moving around. And so I'm going to turn this on real quick. All right, so yeah, so that gives you an idea of what it sounds like and kind of what the sound is that I was going after. So it's it's a very haunting sound. What I found so really captivating about the flute in general was this uniqueness about it in that it kind of seems to just penetrate straight into the heart of you, you know, straight into your soul, you could say, to be a bit cliche. But it does seem to allow you to connect to emotions that maybe you would otherwise have a harder time connecting to, or even release emotions or release things that you've been holding on to. Hi. Yeah, backing tracks. If someone was asking about that backing track. So actually, if you join the Facebook group Playing the Copper Flute, I have, though it's free group, I have those backing tracks, the one that you just heard, excuse me, amongst many other backing tracks, so that you're free to just download them and play them with whatever instrument you want. But if you have a copper flute, it's great to just be able to throw one of those on and have that kind of emotive sound bed to pull from. A lot of times when I'm playing, I'm really, the way that I play and the way that I improvise is maybe slightly different than other people, because when I think about phrasing, I'm not thinking about musical phrases like, oh, I'll play a 1-7-4 or whatever, or I'll play a G into an F into blah blah blah, you know. And I'm not thinking in riffs like on guitar. I think in like riff, like did or whatever. You move those riffs around the neck and different keys and stuff. But when I improvise on this flute, and what I think is very unique for me about this flute is I'm mostly picturing human encounters. And so I'm playing emotively because I'm picturing emotion. I'm picturing two people in the throes of a heated argument that matters, talking about very important things with huge stakes on the line, and how that can bring out that raw emotional energy from people where they just cut out all the pretense and just let their actual emotions flow out. And so a lot of times when I'm playing, I'm not thinking like whatever, you know, I'm thinking like of what they might be saying. So they might say something like this, and then something like that, you know. And so my phrasing might go, and it has the odd pattern. And I say this because, you know, if you're playing this is what I want for you, and this is what I've taught a bit in the videos that I posted to the group so far, and what I'll be going further into, is you have those patterns that you're not having to have a bunch of musical background in to play. You know, as long as you have, you can see here, as long as you have, you know, and I'll get into this after the drawing, because I won't hold everyone hostage too long. You know, I'll get into maybe a little bit of the technical stuff. But as long as you have this finger down and this finger down, it's all game. It's all fair game. You know, move to whatever note you want. It's all the same. So what stops people a lot of the times are like, oh, I guess now I have to learn how to read music. Like, I don't know how to read music. You know, I guess I have to learn how to read music. I guess I have to learn like all my scales. I guess I have to learn all of that. I'm not belittling that at all. I think there's a time and a place for that, and I think that can be great. But I also think that there are other paths to musical creativity and expression that you don't have to climb the learn music hill first. You don't have to climb the, you know, learn how to sit straight with your back and learn all blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't have to do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't have to do all that work to let this into your life. And that is what this flute is ultimately about, is sharing this other path to adding musical exploration, musical expression into your life. It's like, I guess, like, the reason I'm so passionate about this is imagine if your friends didn't see the color purple, and you're trying to express to them like, man, if you saw the color purple, there's this whole other color, like, there's paintings that are, I mean, they're going to blow your mind, right? And that's kind of what I'm trying to convey is, man, if you don't have musical expression in your life, there's this whole other world just waiting for you. It's a whole other color, right? And you don't have to learn all the music first. You don't have to do all that stuff. That's all great, but it's not a hill that you have to climb first. All right, so with that said, why don't we give one of these away? So what we're going to do first, guys, is, I know everyone here is watching from Facebook and YouTube at this point. Yes. And sorry I'm missing like all the comments because they're over here. But yeah, I know everyone's watching on, first I'm going to restart this here. let these guys back in on TikTok. Because if you're joining me from TikTok, on TikTok there was also a creator challenge. So there was a video where people would tag creators that they would want to have receive a flute. And so we have our... Yeah, you don't have to be present to win, you know. It's just highly encouraged. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so cool. So now some people can come back. Yeah, back on TikTok. All right, so I was going to take the top 10 people, creators that were tagged the most on this one video, and it turned out that the bottom like 6 were all tagged the same amount of time. So now it's technically 13 people, and I'm going to switch over to YouTube, and maybe you can apologize that it's a little messy here, TikTok, but you get the gist, I guess. See, oh, you're not gonna. Okay, you can kind of see it. All right, so I'm gonna switch over here to my screen, and we're gonna do a random number generator. So what I've done is I've assigned a number. Well, I'll just show you. So, I'm going to bring this microphone over. Actually, I'm not going to touch it. All right. Yeah, TikTok not working. You guys can still see on Facebook or no? Let me double check here. All right, so we're going to pull up this random number generator. First, I'll show you here. We have 13 spots. So we have Hope and Justin. In some of these, I have the TikTok handle. Some I have like the name on TikTok. So, you know, I'll sort it out later. But we have Hope and Justin, Emmeline Sterling, Azeric Official, Victor the Story Weaver, Wayward Blade, Caleb Pearson Music, Harpist Katie, Banakula, Laffy, Piper Alley, Zach the Reiki Guy, Thorn Sorceress, and Cullen Vance Music. Now, these are not in any order. I just took the, you know, like I said, I think like this through this all had the same amount of tags or whatever, so I didn't want to cut anyone, so I just took the top 13. And so now we are going to do a random number generator. Go back here once. All right, all good on Facebook. Cool, Facebook's good. Yeah, TikTok's on its own device, but it just happens to not, it just doesn't seem to work that great. All right, so here we go, random number generator. 4. Who is 4? Victor the Story Weaver. Victor the Story Weaver. You with me? Oh, you can't see anything from back there. You just see the back of my head. Sorry, guys. All right. All right. Victor the Story Weaver. Victor the Story Weaver. Man, I'm pumped for you. I know that. I was trying to see if I had, believe it or not, I actually moved it over there. So I'll show you basically exactly what it looks like. But it's not quite this one. The pattern will be technically slightly different. But yep, here it is. Very beautiful flute. I don't have the head joint on there right now, but it's just gorgeous. Victor, I can't wait to hear what you, the music you make. I don't know on right now, or which part of the world in particular you're from. You know, I like what you do. I did check out all 13 of your guys' profiles and got an idea of what you're up to and stuff. So, Victor, the Story Weaver, you are the man with the plan. All right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Sorry, guys. You're right. Let me move it back. Thank you, guys. All right. So, there we go. It's more or less right. So, yes. What should we do next? Should we do the drawing for the main one? Okay, we will soon. But first, while I have you guys here, I want to tell you one cool thing. So, if you've been to my website, you probably have seen that basically all the low Cs have stayed sold out for a pretty long time, and I haven't made any more. But lo and behold, I've actually been working behind the scenes and making some more, and not just more, but some really, really unique and cool ones. I've been just further diving into the exploration around the finishing techniques that I do and trying different things and different amounts of time. And again, just like I tested all these different variables to create the sound that I wanted in that head joint, I test all these different things to create new patterns, new ways to express yourself, really, you know, for me to express myself artistically. So, a couple that I wanted to highlight. This is, see if you can see that. This is what I call the serpent, and I'm actually going to go like this. So you can see this because it's just so cool. So what I did here basically involved manually pulling all these tiny little pieces out. So there's over 1,800 individual little pieces that I had to just pull out of there. So it's definitely a labor of love, but I've been picturing wanting to do this and put a finish like this on for so long. And then I have the gold leaf underbelly here. Might be a little hard to see. Yeah, thanks. And then here, I mentioned that some of the flutes are done with a gold foil. So I do first one round of finishing, and then I go back and I hand apply this gold foil, and then I do another round of finishing. But this is just a new approach on this one. I just love the way it looks. Like, one of my goals with these gold foil ones are to kind of create something that I feel like you'd see in some like Grecian museum of fine art, you know. And then of course it's functional art. It makes this gorgeous, gorgeous music. And then we have one of my main style of design. This is actually not quite it. This one's a little different, but this one is basically called like an Arctic burl. And one interesting thing is, you know, you've probably been seeing all my videos, $750 flute, $750 flute, $750 flute. Well, the nice thing is the $750 flute is the most expensive one I make. Let me get this pull this again. Yeah, so the $750 flute is the most expensive one I make, but I make them across a range of prices. But one lucky person is going to get that $750 flute after this song. So I'm going to play this one song for you guys, and then it's the big show. Should I play the Serpent? Actually, yeah, if you want to hear what it sounds like with no reverb, no anything, no backing track, I'll play a little bit here. Don't know all that song. Let me know if you know what that song is. All right. Alyssa, thank you. All right. All right. All right. Tunable head. Oh, sorry guys, you said you couldn't hear the flute. I'm sorry. Well, I tell you what. I want a happy, willing audience. So let's do the drawing first. And then we'll play a little bit more music. Now, if you... Awesome. So if you are receiving my emails, if you're not, well, I feel like you probably are at this point, but if they went to your spam or something, go look it up. Pull it out of the spam. Otherwise, all the rest of my emails go to spam. Because email's a crazy world. But I'll say this. You may have seen something about when I said, what is second place? What is second place going to be? First place is this absolutely beautiful. I feel kind of like a bit silly that I would have had this like readily available, but oh, it's right here. It is readily available. It's in front of my. That does make a lot of sense. But yes, this is GR006 Gilded Relic 6. It is such a cool, unique flute. I'm going to show it up close here. A little in focus action. Man, look at that beauty. Just gorgeous. I love this one so much. It just shines. It's just so pretty. It's about to be someone new. It's about to go to a new home. Yes, it's about to go to a new home. My 5 people on TikTok who are just hanging in there with me, even though I don't think there's any audio or video. You guys are troopers. So, let's give this thing away. But, as I was saying, what is the second place? So we know first place is this beautiful, beautiful flute. Second place, what is it? Well, I'm going to send out to your email. Here's the thing. Like I said, if you are already a musician, then you already know what I'm talking about. And maybe you've heard the sound of this flute and you're like, man, there's something about that just really draws me in. It drew you in enough to say, hey, I'm going to share this out to my friends. I'm going to give this weird dude with a flute my email address or whatever, right? There's something that grabbed you. And if you're not a musician, well, it's probably the exact same thing. There's something even deeper that grabbed you because it's something inside of you that's been screaming like, please let me out. And I don't want to just give that opportunity to one person today. Like I said, for the most part, all this stuff's been sold out. I don't have any for sale. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give this flute away. But I've been a little busy bee here in my workshop, and I've made a batch of flutes that I make available on Black Friday. And I'm going to email out everybody a $50 gift certificate to my store. So that's going to be $50 off any flute in the store. And then I'm also going to have set aside a certain amount of flutes at a lower price than I've ever, not that I've ever offered, but than I've been offering the last couple of releases. So the last couple releases, the flutes start at $475. I'm going to offer a special set of flutes that are going to be $425. So if you use your discount, now they're only $375. So I just want to, I spend a lot of time, I spend a lot of effort on this, but I also just want to make efforts to make my art more accessible to more people and just have more people get that opportunity to unleash that creative force that's like waiting to get out of them. So the big second place, that's the really cool thing. I'm going to send you an actual gift code specific to you in your email. So make sure that you're looking in your email. I'm going to send that out on Monday. So let's give this flute away. Here we are. Okay, now we're back. Um, I'm going to, yep, screenception time, exactly. I like that. Here we go. Okay, so I've got our list up here again. I've blocked out like the beginning of these email addresses so you can see that I'm looking at the right one, right? But you guys can't see the whole email address. You can't be like just copying down all these email addresses. You guys are amazing. There were 2017 entries. I was blown away by that, to say the least. So let's get to it. 2017. Good luck, everybody. I'm just want to see this, everybody. All right. Here we go, guys. In 3, 2, 1. All right. Number 29. LDA Chambers, email.com. LDA Chambers at gmail.com. I know, I was kind of amazed at that, but I guess that's what makes it random. You see, I'm using Google's random number generator. I'm making everything like as above the board as possible. But that's the big reveal. Congrats, LA Chambers, LD Chambers. I'm gonna put that in here. I'm just gonna put this LD Chambers. Are you in here? Maybe not. Okay. Arrows asked, how do we get the voucher? Guys, I'm going to put it. I know, Steven. I'm going to send it to you in your email. So make sure that you're looking for my email, which is rommusic@kilcreative.com. Yes, I cannot wait. I'm so... how do I clean the emails or the flutes? Well, I'll answer both. The emails, I just ran them through an email cleaning program. No, more flutes. Well, more flutes to come, but those are the two big giveaways. But the flutes themselves are all clean prior, and they aren't played by anybody prior. Either the head joint and the copper and everything will have never been touched. Well, it might have been physically touched, but it won't be touched by anyone playing. So let me see here. So I am going to just play one more song, I think, just because the last song was you couldn't hear me. And then I'll let you guys enjoy your Friday night. I have my mom visiting before she heads to Florida for her Thanksgiving. All right, I'm going to try and get a better situation here. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Keep an eye out in your email because I'm going to send that gift certificate over to you. And I just really appreciate you for spending your evening with me and listening to a little music. And I cannot wait for you to begin creating music like this yourself with your family, in your house, in your bedroom, by yourself, when you're wanting to cry if you don't know why. All those things. Just having a companion like this, having music as a companion in your life, it can definitely change everything. So I wish you an amazing weekend. Keep an eye out for that gift code on Monday. All right, thanks so much.